my God. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to take last Sunday off. My voice was pretty much destroyed by allergy season. So needless to say, I went home and started my allergy prescription to get things back and under control. So a week of being on drugs has finally kind of put things normalized. I'm still a little bit, occasionally a little bit gruff and snuffly from the antihistamine Zyrtec combo that they have me on, but for the most part, I don't wake up sneezing for an hour and then, sneeze all afternoon and then sneeze all night. And then my poor son, sound asleep, and I just blare out a sneeze. And he's like, ah! He like wakes up from it. And my wife just looks at me like, you're a dead man. You're an absolute dead man.
Yep. I haven't found an antihistamine that doesn't knock me way out though.
It just makes me feel dopey and groggy. So I've staggered I take it one pill a day. Yeah. So I've staggered it in such a way that I don't, I take it at noon. At the halfway mark, I'm not feeling kind of groggy from taking it, but I'm also not feeling like, I'm also not feeling like that I'm still like got my allergies. So
yeah,
as I sniffle.
Ow.
So welcome to session 66, everybody. We've got to be on 2 years now, right? 2 years?
We are.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
We're like our session 0 would have been last week-ish. Like, yeah. 2 years ago last week.
Yeah.
Because I had crazy. A Facebook post about it. I was like, oh, hey, look at that. Whew.
Yeah. I remember that. We talked about that. So quite a bit happened over the last couple sessions. After defeating the Elk clan and defeating Vasserus and
with the Bear clan.
Defeating the Bear clan. The Elk clan was recovering from the battle. Vasserus finally defeated. We are now down to the final copy of Vasserus, the last one kind of assisting it with whatever Mason is attempting to accomplish. But with this final attempt being made on Dragon's Breath Isle to bring the Elk and Bear clan into a final kind of confrontation, using this as an opportunity to understand the power of the lighthouse, Vasserus was submitting and putting the Elk clan prisoners into the lighthouse, and we were watching kind of their souls drift off up into the nether regions, unknown where they were going, but it was possible that Vasserus was using this as a way to gain entrance into the lighthouse. However, with the defeat of the Bear clan, the team had 2 months downtime. They had the ability to work on skills, work on items, make discoveries, learn more about information. And I would say some of the key things that were accomplished. Xaneth had given her oath to Helm, as she has taken up the champion's oath under Helm and learned about the revelations of the item that she was given. Spot has become quite adept at not only cooking, but has officially been able to make a device that allows him to conduct Hero's Feast as a part of both cooking and learning from the keepers and the other druids and shamans of the Elk clan. It would appear that Earthen passed the ceremony to gain the insights as well as the unification of the clans, bringing them together. Whether or not that's been fully realized yet, we haven't quite gotten there yet. But he did complete the ceremony And all the shamans of the different clans, with the exception of the Dragon Clan, were brought back together. Probably.
And I got the crown.
Yes, and you currently have the unification crown. With the idea of naming a successor as the ancient ritual or ancient backdrop of the clans originally uniting when they traveled from their plane of existence to the Shattered Breath. And it's with this we finally learn that all the clans are not from Exandria. They are from, does anybody remember where they're from?
They're Asimir. They're from the Celestial Realm?
They are from the Celestial Planes, although we don't know precisely from within the Celestial Planes.
Yeah.
But by far the most intriguing outcome was Puck's vision walk that she had with the lighthouse and its connection with the Celestial Gate from a existential connection, not necessarily an actual physical connection. Although it seemed that these lighthouses are connected to the Celestial Gate, and that the unsealing of the gate may be Mason's ultimate goal, as this would then force the Betrayer Gods to be released, bringing back the period of right after the Age of Founding, when all of Exandria was set into a warlike condition between the gods, between the Titans, before Age of Arcanum led to the period of divergence, when the gates were sealed, the Betrayer Gods were put back in their prisons, and some millennial kind of stability brought to the world. But the team decided to reach out with a favor. They called on Erebos. And Erebos, being the second of Dominion's children, arrived to kind of begin filling in the gaps about Mason, about the Dragon Clan, about his connection with a particular situation or place in time that Mason is attempting to find or influence. And it was Erebos' insight about the dangers of Dominion, but also that perhaps Dominion and Mason at some point may have crossed paths, which caused the Asimir-like clans to flee or leave their celestial haven to arrive within the Shattered Isles. And there's even the hint of a possible having to travel to Wildmont, to the Morrow Valley, and learn more about this possible connection between Dominion, the Celestial Planes, and the Celestial Gate. And I believe where we last left off, we were in the final throes of the discussion after the conversation with Erebos had just completed, and we had begun to learn that there is a direct correlation between Mason and the Dragon Clan, as well as the fact that all the Voik are related to Aasimar heritage. You guys are currently still in the Longhouse, I believe, where you had this secretive conversation with Erebos, because you're the only ones in there currently. Are we late at night on our first day after time dilation? Is this like?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the all the shaman stuff happened during the dilation. Right?
Correct.
Yep.
So it is technically the end of day one. It's the evening after you're wrapped up your conversation with Erebos. What would you guys like to do?
One of the things that I wanted to do last time that we didn't get, I wanted to do a dumb monk experiment on the keystone we had.
That's right. That's right. The keystone. Yeah.
The dumb monk experiment. Yep. The monk is not a scientist. Just let's preface with that. Let's lead with that, right? Is it an experiment if you're not a scientist?
We'll find out.
Or is it just plain luck?
Yeah, is it an experiment depending on the outcome? If the outcome is good, it was an experiment. If the outcome is bad, it was an accident, right?
Has Tilly still been hanging out with the Voik these past 2 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been practicing her alchemy. She's been doing her botany, her nature studies, working with the Voik as they've been rebuilding the town, the coastal town of Fjordheim, and just kind of lingering with the Ironbound and some of the other kind of individuals that make up the leadership of the community.
Were we able to get any more information out of her about her, let's call him ex-husband?
Not ex. So
If he's dead, in a way, he is ex.
She still wears the ring.
If he is not dead, I will kill him, and then he will become the ex-husband. So we'll see what happens. But outcome is not great for him.
I mean, I'm definitely going to try and stop you, but I understand.
I understand your frustration.
You don't remember that he killed you.
You're right.
I know that, but you don't remember that.
I think you told me at some point, so
Yeah.
I'll take it under
that's right.
authority.
Because you were like, "Oh, hey, we need to." Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because
you finally said you wanted to know. Because that's the memory the hag took.
Yeah. And didn't we? Did we finally speak to the Martinet?
Nope.
No.
She's still dead in the bag.
That's right. That was on the to-do list. There was Spot's experimentation with the Keystone, Puck's lingering concerns about Tilly's relationship, and then of course there's the overall reality that for all this time, the Martinet's preserved form is being kept. She would have been, kept over the 2-month period. Time and all the other activity took everybody's time, or is she, mushy, rotten decay in one of the bags? I would imagine you guys would just cast Gentle Repose every 10 days to keep her kind of organic, I guess, or from turning into sludge.
I mean,
well,
with the right spell, I think sludge could still be reformed into a being. Maybe.
Well, reincarnation, perhaps.
I don't actually have Gentle Repose, so I don't know.
What were we using something on her? What were we using? Shoot.
Oh, Spare the Dying?
Might have been Spare the Dying, but that actually is just supposed to keep you at
1 HP, right?
Yeah,
0.
Well, actually, you touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. So no, that would not have been right.
But she was a vampire thrall anyway, though.
She was a vampire thrall. Yes, she was.
Is Gentle Repose something that just druids have? Oh no, wait, I do have Gentle Repose. All right,
I was going to say it's usually
Gentle Repose.
Yeah, it's usually a druid, cleric, and paladin thing, from what I understand. Yeah,
I thought we used something for preserving meat, like whatever spell we used. It was like a food preservation spell or something like that. Is what we used on her. It just kept it from going rotten.
We also have a few.
That was the point, was to not get rotten. But I forgot what the spell was now, because I'm going back and trying to, because I remember it being funny that way, like we drenched her in salt, but it wasn't salt. Maybe I don't know. I thought that's what we did. Maybe not. Either way, she's been in another plane. It's gonna be weird to pull her out anyway. But in the pocket dimension, whatever. In the bag. But the reason we didn't bring her back before, though, was we were worried that if we brought her back, that she would come back still a vampire, or still a thrall, a vampire thrall. And
you were still trying to determine what bringing her back would mean, or speaking with her, like speaking with dead would mean.
Right.
In overall.
We did talk to her. Yeah, we did speak with her.
We spoke with her. She was like, "Yeah, if you brought me back, I'd keep trying to eat people."
Yeah,
she was. She was painfully obvious.
Yeah,
or honest.
So what is that experiment?
Okay. Just really verify with you guys here. We don't need this.
Your mic's messed up.
Yeah, give it a sec. The
It
audio's
sounds like
trying to catch up with you.
it sounds like you've covered your microphone with your fist.
Is this any better?
Yep,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Okay, cool. I just angled it down, facing me a little bit more. All right. Excuse me. All right. Okay. Does anyone care what happens to this keystone thing? Like, does anybody need it for anything? Because I had an idea.
But I would ask them first.
Hey, guys, do you need this or anything?
Who's them?
Void
The
Void people,
Void?
guys.
I would say Green Bottle, the Gable Keepers, especially Talindra, don't really even know what it's used for. As far as you guys know, it's something that could be used to harness items of power. The Void don't really have a need for it or would even know what to use it for.
I mean, Eartha, just in case you have mending, right? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I can theoretically put it back together piece by piece.
Okay, cool.
That would
cool.
take a lot.
All right, cool. That's all I heard.
Depending on how you break it.
I heard a yes. So, and then I just
I heard a yes.
I punched the rock and put some key into it.
Okay. It doesn't take much of an effort. It's a pretty delicate stone square.
I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to break it with the force of my punch.
Right. If you slam it with the force of your punch, you don't break it, but you create little hairline fractures.
Okay. So, what I want to see now is, do I feel anything on this? Does it seem like there's anything else going on there? Because I want to, if there is, I want to step back for just a second.
Well, what are you trying to achieve by punching it?
Let me find the name of it. And I apologize, guys. I've had 2 days where I am just out of it. I want to see if it is susceptible to my quivering palm.
Which is...
See, I can spin... Oh, where are you? When you hit with an unarmed strike, I can spend 3 key points to start harmless vibrations on a target, which lasts for 18 days. As an action, I can end the vibrations, and it must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 19. If it fails, it is reduced to 0 HP. If it succeeds, it takes 10d10 necrotic damage.
I will warn you, Quivering Palm will destroy it.
Okay.
Because it will automatically fail its con save.
Mm-hmm.
It's only got a couple hit points. It would fracture and turn into small pieces.
I'm not putting that back together. If
Okay.
you break it into that many pieces, we need another 2 months for me to put that back together. If you do that,
Fine. All right, guys. Here, I'm gonna hold off on this. I got 18 days to if I want to. But here's my brilliant plan, because it kind of seems like it was confirmed. If we go back to that pocket dimension, where Mason's got Strahd's castle kind of set up, and the keystone there is projecting an aura of like a regenerative aura to keep it stable. I can really piss him off by bopping in there, and then when he comes in to try to kill me, I just shatter it and bop out.
but he knew we were there before. Do you think he would let us just walk right back in again?
I mean, I'm tricksy. I'm very sneaky.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we do need to catch up on what he's been up to for those 2 months. Going in there and spying might not be the worst idea, especially if you can do some, damage, which it seems like you obviously can. But I don't know if we should all go, because we have a pretty bad track record, and also I don't want to talk to that ghost again. I feel like I've had enough creeps, enough ghouls. I'm out. I'm not talking to anybody
I mean,
anymore.
that was kind of funny though.
It was very funny.
That ghost you mentioned.
You
But
can
the
stop
ghost
talking
you
to me at any time. I'm just here alerting the boss and keeping you distracted. That was great.
I love it when they tell it to me, so I don't get stuck there for an hour.
Well, but you still kept asking him questions, though. He was like,
Well,
"I'm just here to let other things come in." And
it would have
you
been
were like,
a lot longer if he wasn't
what?
so
What's
straightforward
going
about it.
He's like, "I
that
don't
ghost you're
have any
talking to,
knowledge.
that
I'm just an alarm."
do you think if the alarm ghost kind of went, that would also piss him off? Because I want to piss him off.
I do like that instinct. I do want to push that because I think pissing him off is a good idea.
Okay.
I also think
I'm in.
we need to learn more about Earthen's experience with him because it's become clear that there might be something there.
Fine. Okay. Wait.
We can do both. We can annoy him and learn about him at the same time. If we learn about him, we can annoy him even more.
Well, so remember
Okay.
who the jerks on the whale were that tried to kill us?
How
Yeah,
could I
that whole
forget?
council.
Yeah, they at least some of them were former Cerberus Assembly group, but when the Cerberus Assembly was bad, because apparently they're not bad anymore.
Yeah,
But
we've heard.
what's her face? I would say the one that we killed that had that fancy staff. I forgot her name now. Not Arabella, but something like that.
Drusilla?
New.
I think that's like one of Cinderella's stepsisters.
Close enough.
Oh, pages.
I may have.
There's the staff. Different staff. Not that staff. That's Vasterisk. The Bella. There it is.
Sibylla.
Sabella and
Sabella,
Oakwood
yep.
the dwarf.
Yep. Blackwood, the dwarf.
Blackwood.
But Sabella, and we killed both of them. But I really didn't mean to kill the dwarf. That was. I didn't expect it to be a tiny pot. That was my fault.
disturbing.
I didn't think that through.
My ex-husband.
Perhaps our
That was
most
entirely
disturbing.
not on purpose. Okay.
What a wicked game we play.
Yeah. Well, but Sabella was very fond of blanking on the actual guy's name from the former leader of the Cerberus,
Yes.
who's in jail right now.
Lundorf.
Yep.
Ludness.
Ludinus. Yeah, she was very fond of Ludinus and thought that he was wrongly imprisoned, among other things. And that is a very bad thought. That's a bad thing. And the Cerberus Assembly and the Volstrucker, the groups that Mason was attached to, were really bad people. That's why I've been on the run. Why I had been on the run. Apparently, it was all for naught because things changed, but I haven't been back to know that. I mean, if we trust what Caleb said, stuff's different now. But
That does seem strange. I mean, surely you must have been keeping up with news. And do you have a contact back home that you can reach out to in any way?
my wife,
Would you like to reach out to her?
By the way, is she hiding out in the Morrow Valley, Earthen?
she was in hiding. I didn't know where exactly she was, but that she was in hiding with trusted friends. She and the
She's
kid.
currently hiding in the Truscan Vale, which is the valley area at the base of the Sirios Mountains in the western region of the Mara Valley. It's about as far as you can get away from Rexingtrum, but not be outside of the Mara Valley. You thought about hiding her in Trustenwald, but it was too much of a busy city and community to hide her there. But the Truscan Vale, she's currently hiding on a family friend's farmstead within the Vale.
Do you think we might be able to reach her in some way?
I mean, I've got enough power now that we could probably just go there.
Would you like to go there?
with the things I've got planning, it probably would be good to check in, I guess.
Well, if somebody like Mason has been causing trouble in your home, somebody that we know is connected to so much of what's going on here, there might be some reason, and it's not the worst thing to know about it. If at the very least we'll understand maybe a little bit more about what brought us here.
True. And, it is, if we went to Rexindrum first, we might be able to get our our wand of gate recharged. That would help us move around a little better.
That's a good idea.
But if we're going to do that, I can't teleport, but I have to do it in a convoluted way. I have to go out and come back to another place. So if you still want to do this keystone thing, now we have a reason to go back.
We can split up, cover more ground. I also just want to bring up one last thing, which is we still don't 100% know what we were sent out here to do. Who are the Wanderman Assembly and what they're hoping to achieve, and why so many people before us were sent here with only parts of them returned. And so...
I do have this, though, still. And I pull out the Urn of Ashes. What else was there? It was the Urn of Ashes, the Last Will and Testament of Philomena Wanderman. There it is. Where'd it go? I had it written down. This paper's cooling force. Let's see. The small vials. One was Scry. One was Greater Restoration. Speak with Dead and Raise Dead. Gremlins, I know.
That was awesome.
The Last Will and Testament. There it is. Yeah, it was a quill, the magic quill with the parchment, and it gave the Last Will and Testament of Philomena Wanderman, and it was a ceramic funerary urn that theoretically contained the ashes of that person.
This is kind of a long shot, but do we have a way of also reaching out to the woman who sent us out here? I mean, we're long overdue.
This is her.
Oh, I don't think
The woman
supposedly. This
Supposedly
is supposed to
sent
be
us
her.
out? Was that
This is the
Philomena
name.
Wanderman?
Yeah. That was the name we were given. Whether or not whether or not this is who that is, this is Philomena Wanderman. So according to what the jar says, urn. I should use the right word, I guess.
So we truly don't know who sent us.
Yeah.
And are we able... This is kind of a technical question, but are we capable of talking to the dead if they've been turned into a pile of ashes?
I feel like
I think there's a spell that can help that.
Might not be the worst idea to talk with either Philomena or the real Philomena or whoever this is. So, I guess what is our to-do list as far as figuring this out? I guess on the Mason front, we have Spot, who's gonna do something in between pissing off to destroying Mason. Love to see it. And then as far as understanding what we are up against, I think...
We also haven't scried on Devon since we found out it was Tilly's husband.
That's a good idea too.
Although we know Martinet is dead and in our...
Yeah, I was going to say, although I hope he's dead. If we scry on him, we can find out what state he's in, I guess.
So on our to-do list is maybe destroy Mason's castle, go to the Morrow Valley to get more information, and meet up with Earthen's family, scry on Devon. Do we need to crown a new head of the clans?
At some point, yeah. But I don't really know what that entails, other than I was given the crown and said, crown the next leader. or crown the uniter of the clans.
Do we want to bring back the Martinet?
Yeah,
Get
so I've
more
got the
information?
Martinet, the Keystone, my wife and family in the Morrow Valley, the Wanderman, whether it's Philomena or not, Devon, also Rexentrum possibly.
So how about we start with the Martinet, then we go to the castle and drop off Spot and either Xanath or I. I think probably I would be a better match for that because Xanath would probably be more helpful.
But you guys can't get out, can you?
I mean, I can astral project. I was planning on astral projecting.
Oh,
I'd be out.
so okay, so either Spot by themselves or Spot and Xanath. Can Xanath travel as well?
I can plane
I mean,
shift if we want to do that. Or we could
Yeah.
just, if we have to go there anyway to get to Morrow Valley, why don't we just all go to the castle and then all go
Yeah.
to the Morrow Valley?
That's what I
Okay.
was saying. We
This
just all
is
like
so
that
much
to make
like
our.
plans in
That's
real
why I
life.
said it's
Ridiculous.
our jump from one to the other. Yeah.
Okay, so Martinet,
Because none of us can
Castle,
actually
Morrow
teleport.
Valley.
Burnett Castle. Well, and also, do we want to do Philomena before we go? Or
We could do Martinet and Philomena both. Or
Oh, yeah.
they're both dead.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
both dead
let's
in
catch up with
various
2 dead
ways.
people, and then we'll go to the 2 spots. And this is a good plan.
But before we go to the Morrow Valley, let's stop at Rexentrum first. Maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
It's-
Do we go to
it's-
Rexentrum?
well,
But so there are people and libraries, and there's the whole academy in Rexentrum where I was kicked out of a few years ago.
I would
but,
love to meet your wife at this point. So if we could make sure that we do that
she's
at
an
the end of
elf.
the day.
She's an elf, so she's really chill. I don't know why she picked me, but
And I'm sure she can also kind of maybe get us up to date on what's going on at your home, if we can actually trust people or if there's some kind of ruse happening.
well, that would be Rexentrum. So, and that's again, Caleb's like, oh yeah, things are better now, but Ludinus is still alive.
It seems remarkable that everything would be solved without you having heard about it. So maybe it's best that we double check with your wife first.
Oh, I mean, I was trying not to stay. I was intentionally not staying in touch with Rexentrum because I didn't want to give any. I didn't want to leave any kind of a trail. That was my way of escaping completely.
Then that would be different.
But I left my wife, so like my wife and kids went one direction, and I went the other because I was the target, not them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah.
it's anything that has to do with your past is your call. However you want to do it and approach it.
Well, there's nothing here that can recharge this wand, right? And
Yeah, it's beyond their power.
yeah, and this wand will make it easier for us to move around.
Well, recharging the wand, you haven't approached Tilly about it yet. She might be able to do it. She's pretty powerful.
I thought she was like alchemy focused, though.
She is, but she's magic based.
Yeah. Well, that could shortcut us, but then we'd miss out on Spot trying to destroy this keystone and the rest of the castle. Okay, Spot, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to break this keystone?
A lot. 15. like the test one, I don't care about this one at all. The one in the Strahd's Castle, I want to break that.
It's silently bad.
I mean, yeah, I guess the painting did kill you.
It did kill me, yes.
Yeah.
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 And so now what I would ideally love to do, again, I wasn't there, but it sounds like the spirit butler is a jerk. So I want to kill him. And then
Well, he's kind of like he's just like an alarm. He's like, I don't think he's even.
Well, did
Well,
you
remember,
mention,
Spot did want to wipe out a ghost community of pirates.
Mhm.
So,
He wanted to go hang out with them. He didn't want to kill anybody there. He wanted to party with ghost pirates.
I did want to party with Ghost Pirates, yes. I did.
It's going to be our final adventure.
yeah.
It just it
Final
sounded
side
like
quest.
You've killed the big
Rebel
bad.
Fun
What are you going to do
Ghost
now?
Pirate Party.
Most people want to go Disney World, but he wants to go party with ghost pirates. So
yeah. Do you
See?
not? But I mean, the way Pug was describing it, I don't know. I think that maybe it's a little bit more than that because it sounded like it was actually part of an astral projection, and I don't know. Maybe wiping that out just kind of flex my claws. My anger Mason just a little bit more, and he killed my friend. I don't like that, and then he killed me, and I didn't like that either. So you know.
A flaw. I mean, perfect logic. Absolutely.
sure, yeah. All
That's
right.
what they say about Tabaxi: remorseless engines of flawless logic.
I believe that actually.
Yep.
Okay,
So-
so you want to question the Martinet or Philomena first?
I think because Philomena is dust, I can't use Speak with Dead on her, so it's going to be a resurrection for both of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can do one if I need to, especially if we're gonna rest
Okay.
before we go anywhere else. Yeah, because I picked that up as well.
Okay, sweet. Why don't we do...
If we do Philomena first, we can find out who hired the Martinet.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
Philomena's
I
the way
mean,
to go.
if we do Philomena first, we'll find out if that's who even hired us.
Yeah.
We will
Because
also
if it doesn't
just
look
get
like
Philomena
if she doesn't
around.
look like the lady that hired us, then we know we're here for some nefarious purpose.
All right, we're doing Philomena first?
Sure.
Okay.
So I take the urn out. You know, the last time we tried to change somebody's shape when they were contained by something, it didn't go well. So I'm gonna pour her ashes out, like in a. We're in one of the longhouses, right? So I'm gonna like pour it in a nice pile on the floor.
Someone tries to walk in halfway through the 1 hour resurrection ceremony. We're like, get out!
Spot, go watch the door.
A bunch of birds start pecking at it.
Just don't let people in.
How much collective knowledge do you have of the Wanderman Assembly at this point? You have the initial introduction back
know
in
there was
Nicodranus when the
Yep.
person that you were dealing with, you thought was, and I may have mispronounced it recently. It's Withinia, so it's Withunia, Withinia,
Yep.
Wanderman. So it's been almost 4 months since you last saw her at this point, back in Nicodranus, when you initially set sail with the Martinet to make
Yep.
your initial journey in the direction of the Shattered Isles. You then stumbled across some information about the Wanderman Assembly, and now this information, I believe you acquired from your interaction with the Drusar Academia, right? The
Yes.
ones back in the Magic Mansion that you were almost trapped in and
Devoured by.
killed as well, because you had access to a library that was older than those that possessed the mansion,
Yep.
giving you the insight that the mansion itself was quite old.
And
So
those
between what you've gathered and what you know,
we looked up stuff about the Wanderman before as well, like the general details of their first journey there 300 years ago.
to save the painful cost of a spell, you begin to realize that Withinia, if all the written documentation is correct, she's been dead over a century.
Has she been dead more than 200 years?
I believe resurrection is 100, reincarnation is 200, correct?
True resurrection is true resurrection is what I have, and that's 200.
Oh,
That's
and that
really
goes if you-
expensive, though.
Yeah, that one is.
That's
I mean, you guys have some.
1,000 gold pieces.
You said 20,000 gold pieces?
25,000.
I mean, I have 109 platinum still. I have not spent any money since when we took off on this journey.
Most
Well,
of the
since
money
leaving
I
Noteworks,
spent was
right?
on Like,
I barely spent money in Gnomeworks. I bartered for the bow. I bartered for my clothes.
Yeah,
I didn't
true.
spend any money.
Remember, we also presumably, I think we established.
Oh,
this
yeah,
at
tons
some
and
point.
we still have several
the
bags.
literal
of
tons of precious metals. That you
Yeah,
all have to
unfortunately, it's
carry.
currently with the Fae with whatever Winter's doing with
Yep.
Sibo.
But I do have coin if that's what's needed, and 45,000 will be 45 platinum, right?
That's 4,500 gold.
Yeah.
So
One
400
platinum is 10 gold.
Did he first?
One platinum is 10
Platinum
gold.
is 10 gold. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was 100. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a
Nope. I don't have that much. I have a lot.
Like, I don't remember how much I have. I've been kind of. What do I have? I have 44 platinum, so I mean,
But that's
I'm willing to
only-
give that.
Yeah.
I really have a ton of electrum.
And I mean, it can be anything of value. So if you have anything that can equate to its value, it can be consumed in the ceremony.
Or residual.
I have
Yeah,
75 platinum and 2,000 gold.
Okay. Also, what? I still have like 4 pounds of residuum. I don't know how much you guys still have left.
A
No, I have
pound
3,
of
'cause I did some.
residuum, I believe we discussed was
It's,
10,000 gold.
yeah. I have 5,000 platinum, so that's like. So I would have
5,000
That's 50,000 gold.
50,000 gold.
The way we came here to make money and we're losing so much money just to talk to our employer is ridiculous.
Well, also,
You know what, Puck? D6 inspiration for that. I like that. That was awesome.
It's
I
just
mean,
like
it's
real life.
Hey, your supposed employer. It's like you have all
it's-
this information about her dying and her last will and testament,
yeah,
and you're like, well, wait a minute, who the fuck was it we were talking to?
because we also found out
Then.
we also found out the blood vault was shit. The blood vault.
Yeah,
was
that's
fake
probably not
and
true.
Not a real.
Because Tilly's like, hey, I'm a master of shit like this, and she's like, I've
Blood
never
vaults
heard of
aren't real.
anything called
Yeah.
the blood vault.
Although, like, since we've gotten to these islands, the clans do like blood magic.
They do have a form of blood magic that they use. Yeah.
oh. Do we have any way of? Honest question, because I have that belt that lets me enter the ethereal realm. Do we have any way of locating a spirit? Because I could bop in there and you wouldn't have to burn 50,000 gold.
I mean, locating a spirit could be as simple as traversing the ethereal plane or discovering that the soul is trapped in purgatory, discovering it's trapped in one of the 9 levels of hell, or discovering that it's trapped in one of the 9 prime deities' realms of power. So it's, you know, it's a significant voyage of discovery to try to find the spirit without the kind of raw divination effect of reincarnation, true resurrection, raised dead, all the different magics of divinity that would automatically bind a kind of silver thread of the soul to the former vessel of the soul. That is designed specifically to make it easier to find a willing spirit. Once again, will or will it not be willing? And if it's older than 100 or 200 years, what divination magic could actually do to affect it?
Does the body have to be whole till you speak with dead?
It just has to have a mouth.
Yeah, just has the ability to speak.
Damn.
I
That's
hate
why
that.
often people just take the heads. They always
Hey, wait a minute. I have true polymorph.
Can you polymorph dust into?
Ashes are an object, right?
A single ash could be perceived as an object.
So this would be weird. What hasn't? What have we done that has not been weird so far, though?
I got your back on this. I just sneak over. I just draw like a little smiley face in the ash pile.
It's a non-magical object that I can see, and I can turn an object into any kind of creature as long as the creature's size is no larger than the object. Oh shoot, the object size though.
Yeah,
Dang it.
the
It would be a
object
really
is
tiny skull.
microscopic.
And
Yeah,
it would be
it'd be like the fly from the movie The Fly in the Web. Help me!
Yeah.
Help me!
So can we get the money to revive her, or is that like not something that we can just gather right now? And do we think
like-
that
You
I think
currently
we
have
have
the
the
value
money.
for it.
Yeah. The question is, do we want to spend it?
oh,
But-
that's-
I mean, we haven't really done a lot with the
It's true.
residuum except hold it. And
let's say that
we'll
if we
talk stuff out.
succeed, we will make so much money, it will be worth it.
You know, again, Earthen never cared about money. That's why he hasn't spent anything.
Puck cares about money, but doesn't quite know what to do with it.
I love all this money. Now, what do I do with it?
Swim.
Very that.
Swim in the money.
He just wants
You're-
to.
you're-
Scrooge McDucket.
Exactly. You're gonna Scrooge. You converted all the copper coins. You're just gonna swim through it like
Ugh,
Yeah,
and
Buck
gold.
comes out covered in abrasions and bruises and contusions because it's not a
watch
liquid.
watch watch her
metal.
dive into it. It's just how.
The older Puck will get, the more like Scrooge McDuck she will become.
Scrooge McDucket.
She tacos when she hits that pile of money. Just
A good way to go. A good way to die. Okay. Puck is okay with spending that money if everybody else is.
Spot's like, this is all an experience to them. Like they are very adept at coming by money, but they don't really value it. So they're like, this is cool, man. Y'all do you.
Okay, Earthen said it's okay. Xanath, how do you feel about all of the wonderful, wonderful wealth we've accumulated in this
Yeah.
fantasy world?
I'm down. I'm I'm a cleric, so I don't really get to spend it on fun stuff anyway. I'll put in how does the conversion work? I'll put in the equivalent of 10,000 gold. We need 25,000 in total.
I have a
1,000
bag of
platinum.
I have a
Yeah.
5-pound bag of residuum still.
I have
We have
about
that.
3
of those left.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
actually
5-pound
putting in
bag
as
of residuum is 50,000 gold.
Okay.
So here, just take the bag.
Just take the whole bag.
Yeah, just
I mean, don't
we've
have
got
one?
2 more. Yeah.
Well, I thought everyone did because when we still had divided it among everyone, we all got.
Yeah.
We all had a 5-pound bag, and that.
I mean, let Earthen pay for us. It's fine. We'll get you back some other time. I promise.
assuming Winter took hers with her,
Yeah,
we had 4, right?
yeah. I paid off one of the other people, and
With some of your
and we had to
residual,
use
yeah.
a pound to make the key. So
Yep.
And Puck
So
is an old
that-
chair. She has not paid for anything.
So we still have
a
3
lot.
full bags. We have 3 full bags of residuum, plus a bag that is 3 pounds.
Yeah.
We have 3 5-pound bags and a 3-pound bag.
I'm gonna be honest, my notes are not ideal. When I look at my residuum information, it just says residuum batch.
They were all 5-pound bags.
Yeah,
I
they're all,
think it's just a 5. Because I just immediately converted my residuum to like platinum in the thing, so I could remember the amount.
Oh, that might have been why I have so much platinum now.
Because I was trying to remember, like, why would I have so much more platinum than these other people? That doesn't make sense. It's just all residuum.
Okay, I think let's do it. Let's.
Right.
So
I
okay.
pull out one of the bags.
All right. Okay. You slap down a bag. We only
So
need
you get
half
a
of it.
containment vessel, a golden vessel that you put the residuum in. You then gather the holy water, which you easily gather some nearby water. You bless it because of your ability to create holy water. And you begin to start the invocation and the incantation to spend the next hour focusing, concentrating, and seeing if you can connect her ashes through the wealth that you're offering and seek and find the willing soul of Withenia Wanderman, which is connected to these ashes. Do you want to invoke any of the other items that were associated with her as well? I believe there was the quill.
We did the quill and got the will.
Right.
Because it wrote the will out, but it was pretty blah. It was, this is the last will and testament of Fellow Man of Wanderman. Not really a lot of information to it.
Right.
But then I had the Scry Vial, the Greater Restoration Vial, the Speak with Dead Vial, and Raise Dead Vial. And I used the Speak with Dead Vial on... Who did I use that on? I used it on somebody. Because we didn't ask them all the questions.
Didn't you ask me 4 questions when I was dead?
Yes!
That's what
I used
that's
the
what
Speak
you
with Dead
did.
Vial
Yeah.
on. I knew I used it. Your tankard, though, is still there. Where the tankard came with it.
All right, so maybe we kind of
We're-
array. We have the.
We're
you
4
know,
months. We're 4 months after Gnome Works now, too.
Oh yeah, we should
Yeah.
check because weren't they making stuff for us?
Because we were 2 months after Gnome Works when we popped back from the Crazy Realm, because we were gone and
Was
came
it 2
back.
weeks or 2 months? I thought it was 2 weeks.
That was the second time.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first
that's right.
time we went to the Astral Realm, we hit a rift and we disappeared in the rift.
That was for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was the rift was 2 months, and then when we plane shifted fire plane to Astral Sea back here, that was 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because
So
that's how the village got
it's
sacked.
it's been almost 6 months since you left Nicodranas. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty good.
So, as it is late evening, your first day of your 2-month downtime within Fjordheim, you begin to focus on Xaneth's ritual or casting of true resurrection. Setting up the vessel, the holy water, and then the 25,000 gold worth of residuum, which would be half the bag of residuum. So 2.5 pounds are now consumed within this ritual.
As she starts to finish the invocation, I want to ritual cast telepathic bond on the 4 of us, so we can communicate without talking to each other. Just in case weird shit happens, we don't say what's going to happen. We just think it to each other.
Thank you for spelling this out. This was necessary.
So yeah, telepathic bond, it's good for an hour. So that's why I'm waiting till you're about done with the ceremony to pass. What language are you speaking right now? I assume that's Xanth's voice in the background. Yeah. Is that what Helm sounds like? That's terrifying.
Yeah, and this all sounds perfectly normal to me.
Just we hear Xaneth's inside voice, and it's just like hard metal.
Dwarfcore, right? That's
I realized that one of those dwarfcore bands came to Chicago, and I missed it by a day. Didn't find out until the day after they came. I was so bummed.
So yeah, until the spell ends, we can communicate telepathically through the bond, whether or not we have a common language, and its communication is possible over any distance, except other planes.
Okay.
So we could be anywhere and still be communicating.
This entity, this person, you feel as the ritual finishes, you feel the connection with its spirit, Xaneth. Its soul still lingers amongst the prime planes of existence, the 9 prime planes, but it lingers in a combination of the ethereal shifting magic of the world, as if it's been looking for something for almost 200 years. You feel yourself linked to it, and a kind of slow connection with its mind filters into your mind. You feel yourself almost lose focus for a moment. The rest of you realizing that Xanath is no longer speaking for herself. She's now channeling Withenia. And as you look at her eyes that have rolled back into her head, the voice of Withenia casts out. Why do you bother me during my search? Who are you? And how did you find me?
I'm going to hold up the urn.
Xanath's eyeless face turned towards the urn. That is impossible. I trusted that to be held in secret. How did you get my ashes?
Are you friends with the Cerberus Assembly?
What do you mean? Why would I befriend such an organization of evil? No interest in working with Ludinus or any of his companions. The Volkstar have hampered me long enough. They were the ones that prevented me from leaving for the Shattered Isles and the Shattered Teeth. Why would I bother working for them?
Well, that's who we got your urn from.
Impossible. They should have not had possession of it.
Can Puck minor illusion the image of the Philomena that hired them?
Ooh, I like that. You watch as Puck quickly brings up the image, and oddly enough, I have that. Things I keep in my folders. Except where'd she go? She got it. I swear, I just brought that up to post, and now it's gone. The hell, man! Goddamn Apple computers, bro. Terrible. Yep. Oh, there it is. For some reason, that takes a while for that to refresh, and I don't understand why. To bring up the illusion, as you bring up the illusion of the person that you bargained with, that is not me. Who is that?
I was hoping.
I do not recognize that face.
She pretended to be you, and she seemed to have access to your fortune and name.
She is not a Wanderman. Why don't you just merely go to the assembly itself and seek out the truth of the matter?
They're gone. They're gone. They don't exist anymore, except for this guy. And I'm gonna flash Devon's face with minor illusion.
I don't know that face. How much time has passed?
Approximately
200 years.
The voice halts for a second. Xanath's face kind of looks around the room. I have lost track of my journey. I have spent so much time here, I've lost track of time itself.
How about
to be gone this long?
How about this person? And I flash Mason's face.
I do not know that face either.
Are you familiar with something called a blood vault?
That is something that I am looking for.
You are looking for a blood vault.
Yes, it is said to contain a talisman. A talisman of a creature called Dominion and access to blood magic. I have been looking for this for a long time. Do you know where it is?
We were sent by this person to find it under the pretense that it requires the blood of a Wanderman and that there will be access to your fortune through it.
Can I roll an insight on
the
her
voice
as well?
that's speaking. Yeah, you can give me an insight on that.
Ugh. That's not great. That's still a 19 though. I rolled a 6, so
It's difficult to know for certain because you're seeing Xanth's physical representation on top of her channeling the voice.
right.
She's trying to establish whether or not this spirit's willing, and now this conversation is assisting Xanth in doing that to then bring Withinia into her original form. The voice, the blood vault is a secret chamber that belonged to a creature called Strahd. Within this blood vault, behind a protection, a keystone of power, lies Dominion's talisman. Possessor of that talisman will gain access to Strahd's vault and gain access to the understanding of immortality, as well as the true nature of vampirism.
Why were you searching for it?
I ail from vampirism. When my family arrived on the coastal regions of the Shattered Isles, we were lost for many years. It wasn't until a captain that went by the name of Hashak of the Thundershroud found us, rescued us, and brought us back to Nicodratus, where we established the assembly and our relationship with the Thundershroud. Together, we profited from understanding how to gain access to the Shattered Isles. Unfortunately, when I traveled through a strange lighthouse, I found myself in the presence of this creature, Strahd, and he made me a thrall. I managed to escape, and through my death, I've been wandering ever since. The quill and inkwell fastened my soul to the ethereal plane while allowing me to wander the 9 prime planes.
So you're working for Strahd?
No, Strahd converted me without my consent. I happened upon his vault by accident. I fled. The nature of how I allowed my soul to escape, I shared with no one. However, I left the quill, the document, and the other items of magic with a very powerful and trusted druid that went by the name of Mannheim. When the time was right, he was supposed to conduct a ritual with a priestess of Helm that would then bring me back and then allow me to access the blood vault. And once within the blood vault, I would gain the understanding of how Strahd produced this immortality, gain my soul back, and allow myself to come back as who I was.
Is that bowl of holy water still around?
It was consumed by Zenith's ritual that's still ongoing.
Well, we have
Still
like
not
a.
done yet.
Is there a bowl of water around at all?
Yeah, but I mean, she only blessed enough for the ceremony.
Not for a blessed part. It just
Okay.
So I take a bowl, pour some water into it. Is this your priestess of Helm? Look in the bowl.
watches the eyeless, looks down. No, but it bears a resemblance to the one that Mannheim had chosen.
The statue on the island?
I do not know the statue. Mannheim crossed over to me. I do not know the sense of time any longer. I know that I perished from this curse 150 years ago. That much I do know. I've been wandering ever since. All I can tell you is this face that you show me. It's the face of someone who looks familiar, the one that Mannheim promised me. But Mannheim has spoken to me on many occasions through his control of astral projection. Because I don't know time, I cannot say for sure when it was the last time I spoke with him.
I'm going to flash the face of the guy that was killed by the gnomes and gnomeworks, who was supposed to be Mannheim.
I do not know this face either.
I'm going to flash the face of the prisoner that tried to scratch his own face off in Gnomeworks. The one that was crazy. I know
this one as well. Are all these people Mannheim?
They've claimed to be.
Allow me. You watch as Xana's form constructs an illusion, and it is an image of Xana's father.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
But Xan doesn't know this because Xan's not there right now. You guys know
shit.
This.
Shit. I know that guy. We know that guy.
That is why I suggest the person channeling my soul now bears a resemblance to the priestess that was promised to me.
So I flash a picture of Xanth's mom.
That is her. That is the priestess. Mannheim and the priestess were to take my ashes and the components of my resurrection to a Helm temple. Bring me back. We gain access to the blood vault, and we learn the truth of Strahd's nature.
Why might somebody else want an access to the blood vault?
Well, to cure vampirism in its entirety, of course.
Is that the only thing it does? Cure vampirism?
We don't know. All we know is that supposedly within confines of this vault lies a talisman that was stolen from Dominion by one of his many children. Here it was placed, and it grew out of Strahd's power.
Which kid, first and foremost?
My understanding is Dominion had two. A turtle of power that resided on, well, was confined to a curse of a great ancient dragon turtle.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I'm not really sure because I believe the talisman was stolen by Draxelhaven. Draxelgrix. He used it as a means to bargain his way away from Dominion. By giving this talisman to Strahd, Strahd allowed him into the Shadowfell and then allowed Draxelgrix to escape to Lucidian Sea and confine himself to the Haven.
So I'm going to telepathically not speak out because I'm not talking to the form. Say Draxelgrix was the aspect of hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was super wary of this until that part. Can I roll another insight check just to make sure that I'm not to try and figure whether I'm being misled by this or not?
Sure.
Well, that was much better, but that's a 28.
The voice is all you have to go by. It sounds desperate. It sounds like it's going to be willing to allow itself to cross back over into the material plane. It sounds like a soul that's been lost for a very long time, looking desperately for something that it needs.
Have you ever spoken to Dominion?
No. I did not know that was possible.
How have you heard about the Blood Vault?
The Blood Vault came up as part of my understanding and research when I partnered with the Thunder Shroud. It was Captain Hashik that pointed me in the direction of the Drusar assemblage, a council assemblage that functioned out of Drusar and Marquette that specialized in the study of vampirism as well. They had been brought together by someone who felt there was a need to finally solve this problem once and for all.
And who might be in your way? Did you have any enemies when you were alive? Anybody who would have benefited drastically from your death?
The Wanderman Assembly was greedy in nature. We lost our way for a time. We found ourselves journeying to the Shattered Isles for the sole purpose of making our fortune from it. And because we knew the only way in and out, we made a lot of money. I can only assume that you cannot find them anymore. They fell to ill repute or fell out of favor of the powers of Nicodranus.
Did you ever meet the Voik?
The Voik, the clanspeople of the Shattered Isles. Yes, I have. They live an unnatural lifespan.
Yeah, we've learned a lot from them recently, but were they a warring people when you met them, or were they peaceful?
They were at war with each other. I made an attempt to work with the particular remnants of a clan referred to as the Dragon Clan.
I think
No,
you might
they-
have chosen the wrong clan. Yeah, they're not particularly well thought of around the Voik. How long do we have this connection with you?
The vessel is almost concluded with the ceremony. I am leaning towards allowing myself to come back, but I am unsure as to whether or not the Blood Vault. I have not found it yet, and I feel I must continue to look for it.
Where would you look for it? Where would you have us look for it?
I'm not really sure. I've traveled the 9 primes for so long, the ethereal plane for so long. I'm unsure as to where it might be.
I do a minor illusion of Strahd's castle. Have you been here before?
As you create the interior ruin of where you guys were, is that the one that you're recreating?
Yeah.
Okay. Her eyes still whited out, but her face leans in towards the illusion. She points at something on an archway as that's the keystone I've been looking for. Where is this?
We can take you there.
We're getting ready to go there.
You watch as the eyes normalize. The ashes in front of you begin to swirl with an energy as a human female body begins to form, and within moments, a slightly breathing, barely alive Euthenia is there.
So, Xanth, I don't know what you just experienced, but here she is. She's a vampire, though.
She wouldn't be a vampire if we used true resurrection.
Correct.
Or she was a vampire.
Was I like conscious for the part where she was possessing me, or do I not remember that stuff?
You have no memory of it. All you knew you were doing was focusing on the ritual.
Okay. There's a period I don't remember. I have never done this before. I don't know if that's normal. But I'll like go to check her and see if she seems like she's alive and she's healthy.
She's alive, but she's in a very kind of... bringing someone back like this can be very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
While Xanth is seeing to Wilhelmina, I'm going to telepathically speak to Puck and Spot, like, don't talk about Xanth's parents yet. Yet. Just in case.
I trust Xaneth. I don't think she's here carrying the nefarious...
It's not about Xanth.
Okay.
Well, she seems like she's okay. She's unconscious, but she's alive.
Well, she was helpful in pointing us where exactly in the castle we should be focusing.
Are you saying that out loud to me?
Yeah.
Did you talk to her?
We
Yeah.
spoke. Okay, I'm so sorry, Earthen. Puck had such a bad experience keeping secrets. Now she's just swinging hard in the other direction.
You didn't tell us for the longest time about that stupid, like, warlock pact you made with the evil deity, and now you're gonna be like, oh, no secrets.
You know, I learned from my mistakes, Earthen.
If I had silence, I would cast it on you.
If you had silence, you would cast it on all of us 90% of the time.
That's fair.
Maybe.
Spot,
something
how do you
happen?
feel? Do you wanna tell Xaneth about the whole parents being in on it situation?
I mean, Spot doesn't really have much of an opinion there. They're just kind of like, hey, that was weird.
We don't know that we're not being looked at right now.
If we were being looked at, then they would have heard.
We
This-
wouldn't know it, though.
Why are you guys all just like staring at each other really intensely in silence?
Can't we just communicate this to Xaneth via telepathy?
Can we leave this plane first?
Okay. And then we'll give her the earth-shattering, personality-defining trauma of a lifetime. Yes.
Yes. So there's a big surprise waiting for you. Couple of big surprises, I think, actually. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, Xaneth, I'm so sorry. We have some complicated news to deliver,
but not here. This is not a safe place to do it.
Okay, well,
I'll do
Withinia
this.
is still out, yeah. But what about Withinia?
Just hold her hand. She'll go with us.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Plane Shift. And we're going back to that remnant of Strahd's castle, to specifically in front of the keystone, like the little area right in front of the keystone there.
Yep.
All right, can I, Earthen, just a clarification for the telepathy.
Yep.
On that one, can it be directed at one individual person among the group, or is any thought that we have, is that shared with everyone?
It's like a chat room, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I had something that I wanted to share with you, but did not want to bring the group into it. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say either way in the description of the spell.
Okay.
It just says targets can communicate telepathically through the bond. It doesn't say targets can hear everything that everyone says.
honestly, it's funnier if you have side chats.
All right. Storyteller, would that be your interpretation that we can kind of communicate individually? It doesn't need to be the entire party?
I mean, what does the spell specifically say for me? What does it say?
Yep. It says you forge a telepathic link among up to 8 willing creatures of your choice within range, psychically linking each creature to all the others for the duration. Creatures with intelligence scores of 2 or less aren't affected. Until the spell ends, the targets can communicate telepathically through the bond. Whether or not they have a common language, the communication is possible over any distance, though it can't extend to other planes of existence. So it really doesn't say.
Doesn't say one way or the other, right?
Right.
So I'd be more inclined to believe Earthen, as the producer of the spell, could make one-on-one telepathic conversations, as opposed to everyone else who's the target being able to do it, because Earthen, you can control the nature of the spell.
Yep.
So I would say if Spot indicates he'd like a private conversation with you, you could then create the opportunity for the two of you to do that.
Do that. So I'm gonna like subtly, cast telepathic bond again, just directly with Spot this time.
I need you to trust me. I don't have any reason not to trust me now, but I think a little bit of subterfuge might help us here.
For sure.
We clearly want that blood vault, but I think it's going to work better for our purposes if she and Mason just think it's gone. If we can get him summoned here, I want to destroy that in front of them, and I think I am skilled enough. I can pocket that and get it into my bag of holding without him noticing.
Well, the keystone is the link to the vault. The keystone is not the vault itself.
Yes, I know, but I thought it was embedded within it. I was going to.
It's supposedly connected to the idea that the keystone lets you know where the entry to the vault is, and understanding the keystone means you understand how to get into the vault.
Yeah,
At least that's how she described it.
Right.
I misinterpreted that. Then yeah. I'm just really pissed off.
But I just didn't want to tell Xanth, because if we were being scryed on there, I don't want the repercussions of Mason knowing what we're getting ready to do to come out.
Okay. I have an idea that I don't want to lay it all on the table, but same thing. I'm not going to. I will not. I give you my word as a cat of honor. I will not destroy that keystone. Trust me.
Okay.
And then just kind of like. So anyway, just kind of turn to.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Wow, you guys really like looking at each other's eyes for long periods of time. It's beautiful that you forged this connection that is totally innocuous.
Yeah, guys, it's nice, but I think Mason does have an alarm here. So what's?
Oh, hey.
Only if we talk to it, so far as we knew.
So
we're on a time.
And I would also say, upon your arrival, shifting, and coming here, it looks exactly as you left it. It doesn't appear that anyone's been here since you last left.
All right. So, can I go up to the keystone, and is it loose, or would I be able to remove it? Like
it's
kind of cut it
it's in an archway over the main entrance into the ruin.
Okay.
I think we were warned that it was like heavily trapped, right? The last time.
It does have three. It does currently have 3 protected glyphs on it.
Okay.
Did those not get disabled when you cast that?
That was over the creepy painting.
That's just the painting.
My fault. My apologies.
I'm gonna take out the longsword.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Legends Lore to try and gain as much knowledge of the keystone as I can.
Okay.
Since I'm there and looking at it, And if I need to touch it to get more information, like I'll walk up to it and put my hand on it.
This seems like a bad idea.
No, don't touch it.
Well, let's take our 5-minute break, and when we come back, we will legend lore the hell out of the Keystone and see if we can't get into this blood vault.
All right.
What, you guys just say something?
Oh, I was talking to my kids.
Instead of like right as I sat down, I was like, wait, what?
You know, little gremlins.
So it's such a message. I know it's about an hour away from you, but we were in Cincy yesterday, and their local Shakespeare group is excellent. They are amazing. Oh, already plan to go back in 2 or 3 weeks and see the play that goes wrong. Which, oh god, that's so much fun.
There's a CM chicken in Louisville now. If you want CM chicken, if you want like really good, pretty authentic tasting like Korean fried chicken, it is.
Okay.
There's 2 of them around Cincinnati area, but I think there's one in Louisville now. My friends ate there the other night. It's delicious. My daughter's gargling salt water. That's that background noise.
Read the legend lore effect to me again, Eartha.
Oh. Okay. Just a second. Let me get back to it. There it is. Okay. Name or describe a person, place, or object. The spell brings to your mind a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore that has never been widely known. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. The information you learn is accurate, but might be couched in figurative language. For example, if you have a mysterious magic axe on hand, the spell might yield this information. Woe to the evildoer whose hand touches the axe, for even the haft slices the hand of the evil ones. Only a true child of stone, lover and beloved of Moradin, may awaken the true powers of the axe, and only with the sacred word Rudnog on the lips.
As you touch the keystone and grip the sword at the same time, go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
Lucky points. Woo, lucky points. I love lucky points. Oh, that's better.
I'll cast resistance on you too. That's a D4.
Okay. So you have a D4 on top of it.
It's still not going to be pretty, but
I can give you my D6 inspiration.
Wait, but I can inspire myself though.
You can.
I'm definitely going to do that right now, and that's a D12 on top of that.
D4.
Yeah. So that's that. And hang on, where's my? There it is, a D4. Okay. Okay, so that's a 22.
Your mind goes to a castle that is intact. In fact, the room that you stand in remakes itself. And it is not a place of darkness or evil. It is a loving home, large family. You could hear a woman calling a name. Strahd is on the lips of this woman's voice. Then you're standing inside of an empty castle. No longer a family place for a family. It's empty. It echoes. It looks abandoned on the inside. You see a lone, solitary figure. You know this image to be Strahd. You've seen it in the books. You've seen it in the written works. But they're still young, just before middle age. Long black hair, long black mustache drooping down past their chin, wearing the obvious vestments of a baron or lord. They're holding the keystone, but it's not shaped. It's not made yet. The image of the Strahd figure turns. You can see that they're wearing a talisman. Talisman is in the shape of an eye with a swirling kind of effervescence of magic swirling around the eye. Now you're staring into a hellscape. A chamber filled with the undead. A now transformative Strahd in the vestments of his vampire form, surrounded by dozens of desiccated figures that don't move or react. He stands amongst a well of blackish water, or maybe something else, you're not sure. He takes the talisman off his neck and he places it into the well that consumes it. The well flares with a bit of magic, and then it dies down. Your vision returned, and you stand amongst your friends looking to the interior ruins of this chamber and up at the keystone.
So I relay all that information to you guys. Describe it as I saw it, and so go ahead.
The well, the portal that does that sound like anything I saw while I was in limbo in the painting? Because I know we were kind of making our way towards something, but
it's a good question. Give me an insight check on that.
It sucks. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't. I went to insight should be good. That is a 17.
17. There could be a connection to that. While you can't see the chamber or the vault, not knowing where it is, it might make sense that the painting was designed to trap souls that maybe was being used to foster the power of the vault, and the vault's main power was maybe to keep the talisman hidden.
All right. While Earthen is investigating this, can I go back to the remnants of the painting?
Not much left of it. You pretty much shredded it.
Okay.
Frame, picture, everything's in tatters and on the ground exactly where you guys left it.
All right. I am going to kind of motion to Earthen and the group and just kind of, hey, I'll be right back. And I'm going to use my belt to try to hop into the ethereal plane and hope it brings me to that section of limbo.
Limbo itself is a place that sits on the periphery of the ethereal plane. So as you activate the belt and you slip into the energy barrier, the ethereal plane is like the skin and membrane and tissue between all the different planes of existence. But while here you notice that there's a black hole or an unrevealed area immediately around you, as if where you just came from is not viewable from the ethereal plane.
That doesn't seem good. Do I notice anything else? Is anything seem particularly off? Like, or is it just...
Give me investigation as you look around.
God, my investigation sucks. Oh, that is a nat 1.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I mean, unfamiliar with the place and unfamiliar with what this all is, you don't really notice anything else that would be directly linked or be of importance. It's just this darkened space that you stepped out of. And while you could see lots of lights and astrological kind of effects going on. Thin little points of light that streak by, and as they streak by, you can hear people having conversations, almost as if you're experiencing somebody traveling through the ethereal plane. You could see the shadows of places far off. But for whatever reason, the place that you stepped out of into the ethereal plane is not viewable for you.
I'm going to go ahead and bamf back in.
You guys watch as the 6 foot tall string of energy allows Spot to kind of come back into the plane that you're currently in.
All right.
What was that?
The pocket dimension that you're currently in.
I don't know what this place is exactly. The way Earthen described that portal that Strahd hid the talisman in, I thought it might be connected to a well of souls I saw when I, died. I thought I'd kind of pop back in there, but we are in some kind of little, I like bubble something. I could not see this place from the ethereal plane. It is separated from it entirely somehow. And I did not want to take my chances there, so yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say the hellscape that I saw was not the castle. Or
No,
the castle.
it was an interior chamber that you haven't seen before.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that real quick before.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Can I open the map of awareness since we're technically not in the Shattered Isles anymore?
Yeah, as you open the map, it is unrevealing. Almost as if the map can't identify where it is, and therefore cannot project out to what you might want to see. It's as if you're nowhere.
Can I try to do primeval awareness to sense if there are any...
Don't do that!
Yes?
You did that last time, and that's how you talked to the guy, the dead guy. That
Okay, listen, it was helpful, wasn't it?
Summoned Mason here.
As you do that, there's no sense of anything. You pick up on nothing.
Does it feel like we've been trapped somewhere, or did we just wander into a very isolated place?
Hard to know. You can give me an insight check.
I'm gonna try. Can I use my D6 now?
If you'd like.
Whoa, 6. So that's gonna be
How much?
18 altogether.
The only thing that you pick up that's a little different coming back is you look down at Withia. She's the only thing different about being here this time. Her unconscious body is on the ground alongside the four of you. The last time you were here, you don't remember having this experience. But she's the only factor that's different this time. And it makes you a little uneasy.
Oh, I kind of kneel next to her and try to see what I sense out of her.
Not a thing.
Does she appear undead or...
She appears human. Her curly hair, her green eyes, slitted slightly like she's unconscious. She's breathing very shallow. This is pretty common from a major spell effect like she just went through, whether it's raised dead or true resurrection, or reincarnation. She's probably under a great deal of strain and exhaustion from the effort. She seems alive.
Can I cast I can't find it, but it's the one where you read minds. I know I have it in
Detect
my
thoughts.
Detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts.
Do you want to do surface thoughts or go deep?
I'll start surface, and if nothing there, deep.
All right. I rolled a really shitty wisdom save. However, as you start doing this, There are no surface thoughts at all, like no connection. Pushing through that, as you get deep into her interior thoughts, there's nothing more than a large maelstrom of swirling energy and an eye at its center.
Does it feel like Dominion?
Sure looks like it.
Hello.
No response, no recognition, just her mind just feels like a representation of Dominion.
Does it feel like it has somehow transformed since we've been down there? Since we've moved?
No, still just feels like what you remember it being, only it's purely existential. It doesn't feel real. It just feels like you're almost touching a memory that maybe she has, maybe from her travels.
She did say very specifically that she never met Dominion. Does this feel like this Puck sense, because she does have a little bit of experience with being manipulated by Dominion at this point. Does she have a sense that they're being manipulated or lied to in any way?
You have a suspicion that something else is at work here, off that insight roll that you checked.
Okay, I tell everyone what's going on. Listen, either we get what we need and leave as soon as possible, or we leave now, because clearly something's wrong.
I don't know what you guys said you talked to her. I don't know what she said. But
So, yeah, let me catch you up on the brief bit. Your dad is Mannheim. Your mom is this priestess of Helm that is promised to Wilhelmina to help save her soul if they find this well, or this blood vault that somehow is tied to vampirism and the secret of Strahd to undo all the vampirism.
And also, Dominion, the thing that they're looking for belonged to Dominion and was taken by the turtle.
Well, it was stolen from Dominion by the turtle and given to Strahd, and then dropped into the. And then what I saw in my vision, he dropped this talisman into the blood vault.
so Withinia, who you now say is like a swirling maelstrom, is accusing my parents of like assisting her with whatever she was trying to pull off.
She wasn't a swirling maelstrom when she was possessing your body. And she also didn't seem bad, just desperate.
And she's saying, I mean, she's been dead 150 years. She's saying she talked to my parents. My mom is human.
Listen, we will have time to process this when we are not at the belly of the beast, but I have a sinking feeling that we are. I'm going to do primeval awareness to see if I can sense any celestial being. If I can, I recommend that we'll be ready to leave.
Before Puck does that, can I actually want to take a look at Wisteria. Can I see if she's actually breathing? I know you said she's alive and unconscious. Okay.
She's breathing very shallowly, like very haltingly.
One thing I want to check, because this sounds kind of like, are we positive? She was a vampire thrall, right? So she has presumably centuries of experience doing things. Do we have any reason to suspect she might be astral projecting, and that this is just her mortal form? Like, it's just there. It would be that, just an an empty shell of a person.
I felt the spell connect. It was I think a successful true resurrection. It consume the spell components.
Wait, I just remembered I have 2 spells that might be helpful. Let me know if you want me to use them. The first one is Wrap Sense, which means I can sense portals, even inactive ones, within 30 feet of myself. And I think it has like more reach and higher levels. And then the second one is Find Object, which I think at this point, with the amount of information we have, I might be able to do locate object on something.
You could try the talisman.
I can try the talisman. Would you like me to do either of those things right now? Or, like, what is our priorities right now?
Well, if we're in the belly of the beast, we need to get out of here.
It sounds like we can't trust the information that Withinia provided. So I don't know if we should try and mess with this keystone if we don't understand what it actually is and what it does.
Earth and Zamp, do you guys think you could disable the wards on it? Because again, I was thinking that we don't hear.
I'm gonna cast detect magic with my loot.
The keystone pops up as magic, as it usually does.
So it pops up the same way as it did before when we were here?
Yeah, exact same way.
Can I check if I sense any
Celestial?
do you want me to check for celestials, or do you want me guys to check for how do you call it? Sorry.
Abyssal?
Undead?
Oh.
Fiends?
I was gonna say
Infernal?
portals.
I don't know.
Undead tyrannosaurs?
A lot of things to check out for. No, but no, I was gonna say portals. If there's any portals, it's been a thing before, but I don't know.
Well, if there's a portal, what's my range here on this? If there's a portal, I mean, I theoretically, depending on how close it is, detect magic should.
Yeah, and with the destruction of the painting, the only remaining magic is the keystone.
Yeah.
Nothing else here of any significant magic.
At least within this 30 feet, there's just the keystone's all we got right now. That's all.
Or if you wander around, you could wander the internals of the ruins and realize that there's nothing else magical here.
Okay. I can check for celestial, but do you guys want me to do that? Because if I do, there's some chance that they will notice us. Unless, of course, they've already noticed us.
Well, do we get the impression that the keystone can be removed from the arch?
With your previous investigations and just looking at it, it looks like it's been placed and protected, so maybe it can be removed.
Like if we were to break a section of the arch on either side of it.
You do get the notion that any tampering with the arch could trigger the glyphs. No matter what, you feel, getting rid of the glyphs are key to safely using the keystone.
Do I get any kind of vibes on the glyphs themselves? Like how?
One is protective, one is reactive, and one is divine. So they feel like evocation and enchantments to you, designed to protect, cause harm if anyone tries to access it, as well as, if anyone tries to damage it. I mean, there's some pretty decent wards on this keystone.
You want to try what we did last time with the painting? But
I can't cast. We could come back, but I can't do it today.
Oh crap. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna fire a dispel magic. I'm gonna fire off a dispel magic at the 6th level at the reactive glyph.
It fades.
Hey, that's one down. So, but I took the reactive glyph off. I'm gonna go for. So there's 2 more glyphs up there. One's protective and one's divine. I don't know about the divine one, but I'm gonna fire off another level 6 at the protect glyph.
That fades. So they're at least at 6th level that they were placed on there.
Yep. Anybody got any guesses on what this divine glyph might do?
Can I make a religion check?
Yeah, give me a religion check.
Okay.
If it's not going to separate my soul from my body, it might just be worth it to try and grab the thing.
It's let's see, 27.
It is a high-level glyph. It is written in a language that you don't recognize, but you recognize it as being arcana and religious in origin. And it's written in such a way that it's verbalizing a name, but you don't know the name. Since you don't speak the language.
It's I can tell it's arcane. I can tell it's a name, but I can't read it.
Gotcha. So I'm going to cast, where'd it go? Comprehend languages.
It is a mark of dominion.
Huh. It's Mark of Dominion, guys. So that's
And because
good
you
news.
cast comprehend language, you recognize that it is a language that you've never heard of for the first time. It's a cross between celestial and infernal.
Ooh.
So, would I be able to assist anybody who's dealing with this, since I have some amount of experience with Dominion, and still draw my
Sure.
power from him?
Yeah, I would say that any act that anyone's doing, they could gain advantage by your help action.
So, Earthen, I was going to try to cut that stone out of the wall.
Yep.
Puck, you wanna give me some backup here and make sure nothing goes awry?
I'm
Absolutely.
going to play you an inspiring tune as well.
And I will dance to it.
You totally got this. And if you don't, Xanth will bring you back to life.
Yeah, we got this.
Oh, God.
I still have a few more punches.
Just one more thing. Remember when you were told that you have a prophecy that you will bring the world into a terrible state because of your chaotic nature?
Well, this isn't chaotic. We're all
Yeah,
together.
I don't think this is the I don't think this is the situation. I think we're fine.
I don't know. I thought that was over and done with because
Now,
I died.
wait,
So,
but
you know.
if Dominion goes to make some kind of a deal with Spot, that could be chaotic at that point. So
Oh
Just
my God.
promise us you're not going to make
It's
a deal
not
with
worth
Dominion.
it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's do that first before we do this.
Dominion's scary, and I don't think they like cats. It's weird.
All right.
Well, when Spot says something's weird, I mean, you might want to take a double take on that.
None of y'all trust me.
It's not about
No.
trust.
It's not yet. Nope.
It's about a
Okay.
very bright light being surrounded by lots of curious moths.
Yep. So
You have
I'm
this stuff. We
strumming
do
the
believe
hell
in
out of that
you,
loop.
and I don't think you will do that. I'm just, kind of double checking. that this is not it. But I don't think it is it. But, can never be too ready. But I believe in you.
I'll cast resistance on Spot in case he needs to make a saving throw.
Okay. So,
Cool.
Spot, you scale the archway up to the top of the arch, and you begin to use your sleight of hand and your fingers to kind of remove the keystone. Puck's able to scale up with you, and she's helping you remove the keystone.
After I play that inspiration for him, I want to just start playing a counter charm.
Okay, that's fair. So Spot, give me sleight of hand with advantage, and you have a D12 inspiration as well.
All right. That was a 27 without inspiration.
You definitely want to roll inspiration.
Oh, okay, cool. And a D12.
D12.
Oh, that sucks. I only got a 2. So that makes a total of 29.
Yeah, DC was a 28.
Oh, okay, cool.
Woo!
So you guys watch as the tips of his talons kind of get into the groove, and with Puck's help, the two of you remove it from its placement. It's maybe 18 inches long by 5 inches wide, only about 4 inches deep. So it's like a flat stone made of a strange kind of substance of rock and metal. There's all manner of carvings, and almost like it's a written tablet of sorts, but it doesn't. The carvings aren't a language, which Earthen's able to confirm, because as the two of you bring it down, Earthen, your comprehend languages is unable to decipher it. Therefore, it's not written as a language. The carvings are very strange, almost alien to look at. But it's at this point you guys begin to feel the room and the place that you're in tremble. And every now and then you begin to hear the clattering of stone and the shuddering of rock, as if the place you're in is beginning to have tremors, like it's coming apart.
Put it in the bag. Put it in the bag. Let's get out of here. Come on. Put it in the bag.
Okay. I'm actually going to put it in my bag of holding. The one that I
Okay,
got.
whatever. Come on. Just get your ass down here. Let's get out of here.
Okay, all right. Take off. No, you keep pausing. It makes it look like you're glitching out there for a second.
So, if you get down, as soon as you guys get down, I'm casting plane shift again.
Okay.
Just before that, can I do a celestial check?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay, primeval awareness. I think it will only be up until 1 mile right now because it's not a preferred environment.
Correct.
But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can sense a celestial spirit. Actually,
Okay.
is the meaning a preferred environment at this point?
I mean, if you thought you were within his environment, I mean,
I suspect.
I mean, as Earthen's like casting the plane shift and everything's rattling and coming apart, you get no sense of celestial either. Like, give me an insight check.
Can I do investigation?
That would take time. Insight is your kind of taking in your surroundings as is with what's happened and see if it garners any suspicions.
It's 14.
As Earthen finishes and you begin to feel yourself fade, there's two things you pick up on. One, it's almost like your ability to sense things was being blocked. You also notice that Withia's eyes open as the four of you shift back to Fjordheim without her.
Without her?
Without her?
Oh, we're going to Rex Intrum.
That you show up at Rexentrum proper without her.
Oh no. Did we just deliver her to like a baddie?
I think she is the baddie.
I don't. I'm so confused. Why do we keep getting manipulated by the bad guys? Are we not smart?
It's okay. They don't expect us here.
If we're in Rexentrum, I'm gonna try and scry on her immediately.
So the question is, where in Rexentrum are you going?
Hey, this is actually something that I had meant to do beforehand. Before we popped out, can I lay just a paw, anything on Wisteria? Just literally anything. I just need to touch her.
Sure. I mean, you could have touched her.
I said you were holding her hand.
You guys were holding your hand when you shifted.
Okay. So, all right.
But because Puck was the last one to attempt a connection, as you guys plane shifted out, she would have noticed her eyes opening and your guys' arrival in Rexentrum without her physically being there with you.
When her eyes open, do they seem at all unusual?
Too fast to notice. Too fast. It happened so quickly.
Ugh. Okay.
Question is, Earthen, where do you go to in Rexentrum?
We're going to the library at the academy.
Puck is just like screaming.
At the candle spires where the Cerberus Assembly reside?
No. At the where was it? I wrote it down. Soltris Academy.
The Soltris Academy is at the base of the 5 spires.
Yep.
That's where the Cerberus Assembly is.
Oh shit. Well, yep, that's where we're going.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. But we're in the library.
Right. That's fair.
Okay. Puck is just like,
it was a place where Earthen went a lot because he just wanted to learn as much shit as he could about stuff. So
fair.
It's a place at least I was familiar with. Don't know what it looks like now.
Right.
Okay, you guys, she opened her eyes just as we were leaving, and I have this really, I tell them everything.
Zeb, can you communicate with her? Can you speak to her, or whatever it was? Not summon.
I can cast. I'll cast sending. I feel like she's bad, but I'll cast sending and say,
Wait, don't talk to her. Are your parents okay? She knew your parents. She knows your parents.
Oh, fuck. Okay, let's start by talking to her, and then we can reach out to your parents. But we need to know what her allegiance is, and that would be the fastest way to know. Although she might be able to track us down, so maybe not.
Would she be able to trace a sending? Yeah, that was going to be my question.
I'm going to cast sending to Withinia and say, what are you doing, Withinia? Why didn't you come with us?
You feel your spell connect, but no response.
So,
so baddie.
Team huddle. How much do we trust Withinia right now? I need a definitive answer.
0!
Okay.
Under 0.
I am going to use my... That being the case? All right. Well, I'm sorry if this goes poorly, but you get... I can't navigate this damn thing. I'm sorry. This thing. I'm going to go ahead and use my quivering palm on her. That's why I touched her.
And that's a save, right?
It is a DC 19. If it fails, she's reduced to 0. If it succeeds, she takes necrotic damage.
In her physical form, that'd be a failure.
Okay. She is reduced to 0 HP.
Okay.
Oh my god, nice.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, this is really smart.
I got to mark up my key points on that, so give me a second while I'm thinking about it. Because I don't know when the next time we'll rest or anything is. So 2 seconds.
Oh.
As you guys arrive in this chamber, it looks kind of familiar to you, Earthen, but it's been remade. It's been remodeled and redone. It's no longer the common library area. It seems to be kind of like an antechamber or an entrance point. It's also a lot brighter, more resplendent, kind of less ominous and dark like it used to be. You watch as a Luxodon comes from around some nearby sitting areas, and there's a dozen or so other people here kind of staring at all of you with strange looks on their faces. And the Luxodon bearing the priestess vestments of the Wild Mother. Excuse me, you and your friends lost. This is usually not allowed. We have a teleportation tower for this. Can you please explain yourselves?
You haven't seen the posters? The posters aren't up anymore?
Don't know what posters you speak of, young man.
I pull out like one of my wanted posters that was handed over when we were in gnome work.
You really do just carry them around, don't you?
I'm not going to leave it posted.
I am not familiar with your infamy. She grabs the poster from you, looks at it. Oh, The Volk store no longer exists. The people seeking you no longer exist.
One does.
take you.
I assure you, one does.
You seem strange to me. I can take you to High Master Caleb if you wish.
We're friends with Caleb, actually.
Oh,
We fought a dragon together.
oh, I've heard of that tale, but was not aware that anybody fought with him. He only just returned a month ago, I believe, from his ordeal out amongst the Shattered Isles. Said that he was working on a possible link to something that him and his friends were working on, and lost track of the interested party that he was working with.
Well, we're here. It would be great. Yeah, sure. Yeah, are you guys okay with this? Talking to Caleb again?
Yeah. I think we should.
Come with me. The Luxodon kind of leads out of the chamber into a long hallway.
As we're walking, I'm like talking to him like, I understand this is not normally allowed, but extreme circumstances, dire things happen. We don't, like give the whole spiel of.
Senior Caleb is the High Prefect and Master of the Service Assembly now. He will determine your punishment if it's necessary or required. Be patient. Kind of walks you out of the heart of the academy and up into the first of the 5 spires. And she is taking you up the central spire at this point, which used to be the seat of the head of the Service Assembly, Ludinus. Takes you up the 10 stories until you're standing on a landing facing a very simple oaken door. She knocks on it. Beg your pardon, Prefect Caleb. You have a visitor, maybe? What is your name again, young man?
Earthen. We are the fucks.
No, we are not.
Earthen.
That's what he would remember us as, Yonwood.
Yonwood. They represent a group that call themselves the Fox. We hear a slight laughter from the other side of the door, and then you hear a familiar voice. Of course, yes, I remember that. Let them in. That would be doable. Opening the door, she guides you in. There, standing nearby, is Caleb. His bright red orange hair, his now longer reddish beard, his cat curled up on a nearby windowsill. And Caleb goes, well, it has been quite some time since we last spoke. Where have you all been? We did our best to try to find you, but we unfortunately failed. Fjord and his wife, Jester, still look for you to this day. They have been out at sea for some months now.
Well, the last time you would have seen us or known about us, we hit a rift and wound up in the middle of the astral sea. It was crazy. A whole lot of stuff has happened since then. And I was kind of running down through the high points.
You guys spend
everything that's happened.
Half an hour getting Caleb caught up, and he guides you over to a sitting chamber near his study that overlooks Rexitrum down below. Well, you have been busy. Please sit. I will get this wine. He walks over to a cabinet, opens, gets out a couple bottles of wine, brings them over. He kind of takes out the corks and begins to pour 4 glasses and one for himself as well. So, based on the last time that we talked, I had instructed Ford and Jester to seek out the woman that hired you, the one in Nicodranus. They found neither hide nor hair of her. No recollection. They found witnesses that were at the tavern when the offer was made. But it is almost as if she fled the city, disappeared into nothingness. No sign of her whatsoever. I then directed to have Ford check in on your family, Earthen. They are still in the Vale, and they do nicely. They are under the protective guard of the Greenblades, a personal group that I have used from time to time. They hail from a dwarven elven city of the Grain Lands. Tough stock, trustworthy, and can be counted on. Why you continue to harbor this sense that they're being hunted, I don't know. I can assure you the service assembly you remember is long gone. Now, the third thing I set Jester and Ford to do on their ship was to attempt to locate you. They went to Gnomeworks. They attempted to look at many of the isles to find you. The passage through the Vale is difficult, so they only made 2 attempts to find you. And as far as I know, they continue to look upon the Shattered Isles for you. I shall have to try to send them a message to let them know that you are here in Rexington.
I don't know that we'll be here very long, but I wanted to go someplace that, if we were followed, would not put our allies in the Vale to harm.
I understand. These Voik that you speak of, this blood chamber and this talisman, Dominion, all of this sounds like Anzena connected to Strahd as well, correct?
Yes.
I think
the stone. Spot has the stone.
May I see it, please?
Before he gets it out, I'll roll an insight check.
Sure.
As well, also that's a 25.
On an insight check, it's Caleb, as far as you can tell. Some time has passed.
I'm also gonna.
If you recall,
mhm.
whenever you go to that pocket dimension and then leave it again, time's wonky.
Can I do a minor illusion of the lady that hired us again to see if she is at all familiar to him?
He looks at it and goes, "This is the description that we got from some of the witnesses that were at the tavern. Unfortunately, once again, we've not been able to locate her."
Can I do a minor illusion of the lady we were just talking to? That is probably...
Actual Wilhelmina?
Yeah.
You do that illusion, and Caleb looks at it and goes, "Now this one looks very familiar to me."
How come?
Well, she was a former member of the Drusar assemblage, had been out seeking information, and as well as looking for a plan to free Ludnus from his prison. I don't know her name, but she does look familiar through description.
But
who is Ludnus?
Excuse me?
Ludnus, the previous leader of the super evil
Service.
version
Oh.
of the Service
Yes,
Assembly.
from
He was looking
before
to...
he was dealt with by, I believe, the Mighty Nine.
So, does she appear like somebody who's been dead for 150 years?
Oh, no, I would not describe her that way at all.
So you've seen another person who looks like this? Who...
No, we have interviewed witnesses during some of our recent conversations that I would say they described a person like this, but this was during our time in Marquette, when I had both Ford and Jester working on other threads of investigation.
Did you know these people? And I flash Blackwood and Sabella.
Ah, that is Ludnus's old assemblage. They were a secret group that he used to infiltrate and learn about ancient artifacts amongst secretive places.
Yeah, Sabella was
Called the
definitely not
Drusar
fond of you.
Assemblage, I believe is what he called them.
Sabella was definitely not fond of you. I believe she called you an abomination when I asked her about you.
Sabella. And what of her? Have you any news of her?
I think Xanth has her staff.
I believe, was she the one who was traveling to the Shadowfell with her fairy hag? Looking.
No, Sabella's the one we killed.
Oh, oopsie.
Yeah, and Blackwood was the one that we.
The
Poor guy.
dwarf. Yes.
Oh, he's dead. It was an
If
accident.
you are telling me that these two have fallen and they are no longer a problem, this is good news indeed. We have been trying to track down this secret assemblage for quite some time now. We
I'm gonna
lost
pull
track
out-
of them many, many years ago.
I pull out the rings.
Can I also put a minor illusion picture of Tilly?
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. Oh, that is Madame Greenbottle. She actually works for the Cobalt Soul. She is a botanist and a master alchemist. Often she travels. Wait, how do you...
Is this her husband? And I flash Devon's face again.
Yes, Devon. He is familiar to me.
Yes.
So you can't kill him, okay?
Why would you want to kill him?
He
Don't
killed her.
understand.
He killed her once. She
That
got better.
seems impossible to me. As far as I know, Devon is in Caldori, in Amman, doing his studies that he's been doing for years for the assemblage there.
Well, someone that looks exactly like him killed Puck.
And communicated with an evil god to do so in an attempt.
Is it possible this person
You're
was a
like that.
changeling?
Changeling.
It's not impossible. They were
Changelings have...
being turned into a bullywog when we found him.
Wait a minute. Are you sure he was actually a bullywug? He could
wasn't
change
yet.
into one free of will.
He was as far as we knew at the time, he was being changed into one because he was in a cage that had a bunch of runes on the outside.
And who told you this story?
That's what we
Well,
saw looking at
We
the.
broke the runes on the cage, yeah.
And the cage was from where?
It was on the ship we were on at first, but Caliban stole the cage to not the under Gnomeworks. Oh, what was the name of the damn place? Not the Haven.
You know who we
The
actually
actual-
had examine the cage was Sibo.
Sibo. And we flash a picture of Gnome Sibo, who we know is Faye.
So I remember her from Gnomeworks. After we fought the Blue Dragon, I took some time to have a conversation with her. She said that she was going to travel and seek out a place called the Haven. She had made a scry on an object, and she felt it would offer up an opportunity to look for a missing sailor that she seemed intent on finding.
That was Draxelhaven. We actually they did something there.
Fascinating.
I'm pointing
So-
at you guys.
So your journey up to this point is that you were supposedly hired by a member of the assemblage, the Wanderman Assemblage. You were then tasked with finding the last living heir, bring proof of that living heir back to this person, and then you were to be paid for this service.
Well,
Sounds like a fool's errand to me. Do you have any idea of who this person was, where you were going? What the point of what you were supposed to bring back? The Wandering Assembly has been defunct for some half a century now.
That was,
After they had no surviving heirs to carry on its worth.
we were supposed to bring proof that she was the last of the bloodline and therefore could open something called the Blood Vault. Something which at first appeared to be non-existent and then turned out to be something entirely different.
Too bad Mistress Tilly was not here. She's quite good at these things. A blood vault is not a real thing. It's legend. It's lore. It's said that the first of all vampire constructed a vault, a chamber. In this chamber, it said that he made the first of his thralls. And from there, his bloodline then stretched beyond the eons. The creature was called Strahd. He existed amongst a kingdom of Benrovia, but fell out of favor. And we believe through the intervention of perhaps godlike entities, he was sundered out of the material plane and laid prison within the Shadowfell. There he conducts his strange ritual of telling lies and secrets in the hopes of adventurous strangers finding where he is. He invites them in and then consumes them in order to continue the bloodline. Strahd.
Do we think the person the lady was looking for in the Shadowfell could have been Strahd?
Oh, I don't see how. Strahd is said to have been destroyed some many years ago.
I thought we understood the skeleton that that when Xanth scried on Mason, and he chucked that skeleton out. Yeah, he chucked that skeleton.
He was in one of the fractions of the fortress.
Yep.
That maybe the skeletal remains
were Strahd.
May have been Strahd.
Yeah. So we did destroy. I forgot the name of the painting that killed Spot, and then unkilled Spot. There was we found a piece of what we assume is Strahd's castle while we were there, and made a dumb decision. I made a dumb decision. A dumb request
I will
of
stop you at the painting. Was it garish but it was a skeletal-like creature dressed
with
in
his hand
garish attire.
with his hand out like it was asking for something.
That was the soul catcher. I am familiar with this painting. What do you mean was?
It's not anymore. It's gone. It's dead. It's destroyed. Tattered pieces, remnants. As is whatever was left, we think, of the castle because of the keystone.
You mentioned this keystone. Can I witness it? See it, please?
I'll dig it out of my bag.
No.
I think I've made Puck a little paranoid.
Can you pull out her map real quick to see if it's working, and also do technical awareness to see if there are any undead?
Map of Rexingtrum. You pick up on the good aura that is Caleb and your friends. You have no sense of any kind of celestial or fiend or any kind of evil nearby. It feels like the map is working again. Your senses are working again as well.
I look at Caleb and I really try to sense if I feel any remnant of dominion or like.
In fact, you feel its complete absence.
Huh. Okay, so I am 100% convinced just by looking at him that he is, at the very least, not a baddie.
Based on your point of view, sure.
No, that's not helpful. That's not good enough. Not anymore.
Well, you know that he helped you fight a blue dragon. You know that he led the vanguard of Vasselheim naval powers to relieve and free Gnomerks from the copper keepers of the Copper Taker guilds that were kind of like running a very clandestine kind of forced labor environment to find what eventually they never found because you guys intervened. So as far as you know, Caleb's on your side. I mean, you definitely get that vibe.
Okay, she's not convinced. She's just gonna stand in the side and like have her arms like wrapped and be like, you better not mess with us. I'm tough. But also, she's gonna continue looking at her map and see if she notices.
You could talk to his cat. You could talk to his cat.
I don't trust his cat. The only person I trust less than Caleb is his cat.
It's just a thought.
Pop's offended.
You guys watch a spot, pulls out the keystone, sets it on the table. Caleb leans in, begins to look at it. His markings are not a language. They are pictographs. Let me see here. Starts running his finger along the images, and this keystone is very familiar to me. I've seen its like previously. I want to say there was a time in Ankarel when I and my friends journeyed into the sunken city. There are places of study and places of understanding where keystones hold back the water. They are magical devices designed specifically to do very functional things. They're very powerful devices. Myself and Asik have the ability to make such things. There are a handful of other wizards of power that can do this. I believe Ludness was at some point able to make these. I think the Bright Queen has people on her staff that can do this as well. But these markings are strange. Give me a moment. He gets up and he starts running his finger along some book spines. He goes, pulls off a book, places the book on the table, opens it, and starts thumbing to a section of the book. This book is about the time period known as Founding. It is believed that Founding is when ziggurats were made. Are you and your friends familiar with ziggurats by chance?
I would be familiar with them, I would assume, from studying in Recentrum for a short time.
Sure.
I think Puck can show some of what was shown to her in the lighthouse.
Oh, you illusion some of what your images were that you saw,
including the blue stone in the hand.
Caleb's eyes go wide. Fascinating. It's the only other people that I know that have laid their eyes on a true ziggurat were Vaxmakdia and their companions many, many, many years ago, before Vecna attempted to ascend. Fascinating. As you know, then, ziggurats are pyramids of power that were said to be built during the period of Founding, when the gods and the titans were doing battle, and this is when the gods had decided to preserve their children, all those creatures that they brought to Exandria. They fled Exandria, took their battle elsewhere. This introduced a period of Arcanum, where magic became all-powerful, divination fell a bit, and arcane activity became the predominant way people judged and ruled themselves. An ancient arcane wizard made a pact with one of the betrayer gods. This brought Arcanum to an end, and the beginning of what we know as the time before Divergence, time of Calamity, a period of time when great battles and wars and the wrath of gods, both Betrayer and Prime, sundered and shaped and changed the world. Realizing that the gods had no choice, they constructed the 9 ziggurats as a way to produce 9 stones of power. These 9 stones of power were then projected through great towers of hope, and these towers allowed them to seal the gate between us and them, but still allowing their divination and their influence to guide us, but in a very subtle way, so that the betrayer gods could not discover the location of the celestial gate. If your friend here, Puck, has seen a ziggurat, then I can only assume these lighthouses are somehow connected to these ziggurats. Perhaps they are gateways to them. This hand with a power stone in it I find fascinating. Because here, look. And he points on the keystone, and there's a pictograph of a roughly carved hand with a circle in the middle of it. I believe what your friend saw is represented here. Here, pictures of lighthouses. Over here, pictures of ziggurats. I feel that this keystone is both protective and informative at the same time. What was this guarding? Where did you find this?
Flash a picture of the arch at the castle.
Ah, gateway of sorts. Something into something. Was this protecting what you call a blood vault?
Supposedly, this when I tried to divine the nature of the keystone, I saw Strahd. He was younger, but he was a baron, and I caught a glimpse of a hellish landscape and a well with black liquid in it. It definitely wasn't water. And he took this talisman, which I intuit is the talisman we were told about of Dominion, and dropped it into the vault, or dropped it into the well, and magic fizzled out.
This is information older than my own mind can understand. This gives me a moment. I want to reach out to somebody. He closes his eyes.
Who?
And he mumbles like he whispers to himself. And then there's an astral projection that kind of warps in. And it's of this very resplendent drow elf. Purple and gray skin, a bright yellow purple eyes, long white hair pulled back in a ponytail, her crown affixed to her head. She's wearing just like robes and casual attire. He goes, "Oh, if it was anybody but you, Caleb. What seems to be the problem?" "Well, I need to describe something for you. I want to make sure it's what I think it might be, but I feel you being over 2,000 years old would be better equipped for this than me. You have a strange way of calling a lady old, but very well. You're a very strange man, Caleb." She spends the next 5 minutes listening to the retelling of the story. "While I do not find this immediately familiar, here in Rosh Hashanah we have an ancient library. Unfortunately, the parts of this library that would contain the information to this was lost many centuries ago. I could certainly give your friends here a map, give them permission to enter Rosh Hashanah, and try to find this ancient library. It may contain all the information that they need to find what they must find. Unfortunately, this happened during the period of calamity. When we fled our capital city during this time, we left our old city in the shadow of the old Stone Mountain range. I believe you would know it as the Penumbra Range. There's an area called the Bob Fields. There, along the eastern edge of the Bob Fields, way north of Rosh Hashanah, our city now, lie the old foundations of our ancient city. It was destroyed in calamity. When we fled, we reestablished ourselves here some 2,000 years ago. We were unable to take everything with us, unfortunately."
Do you recognize this man by chance? And I flash a picture of Mason, or like a 3D image of Mason's head.
I personally do not know this man. However, you may want to check with... There's a very, very... Well, his father would know more, but his father has long since passed on. He is a great-great-grandson of Percival. If you have a notion to travel to Whitestone, you can speak with Percival's great-great-grandson, Percy, and speak with him. He knows more about the Claret orders than I do. While I don't recognize the face, I recognize the pip and the emblem on his collar. He is a blood hunter, or at least a member of the ghost hunters that are members of the Claret Order, if what he wears speaks the truth. But the person, I am sorry, I do not recognize.
Thank you for the information.
Of course. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to go back to my bath. The astral projection fades and it's gone.
Oh, we didn't ask about Zebo.
Nope.
There.
But now we've got 2 different directions to go.
Well, picking directions and choices, that's always difficult. What is your plan? I don't need to know. I don't want to know your details, but I want to be able to reach out to people who I think could help. But this is all such ancient work and describes things of such a long time ago. I'm not entirely sure where to begin. The best books I would have come across are here, but the libraries here are barely 700-800 years old in comparison to what the Bright Queen has at her disposal.
Well, while we're here, can you recharge this wand?
Oh, of course. Give me a moment. He identifies it. Yes. This will take a moment. He walks over to a nearby table and begins to work on it while the 4 of you are kind of left to your own devices.
If we have that wand, I think we can travel faster. But here in Rexentrum, at least there used to be a teleportation circle where we could travel to Whitestone pretty easily, pretty quickly. We don't have to go out and come back. We just go there.
Well, we want to see your family and to make sure they're okay. And
Yep.
I think they would know better than anyone what's going on here and if we can trust this change that has happened without your... I don't know. As I have a hard time trusting this place, but I think I might just be a little paranoid.
I'm with you. It's weird. It's so weird. But
Okay.
But with this wand, if we get the wand recharged, I can just create a door to go to another place.
We also need to check on Xanath's parents now. I think we need to check on
Do you have
both.
parents?
Thankfully, the dumbasses who raised me do not need me to check up on them. Spot, is there any... I don't know. I'm concerned about what happened with Xanath. I'm also concerned at the idea that the person merely took those images because they were trying to manipulate us and they were inside Xanath's head in some way. It's kind of unusual.
I have a little bit of good news on that front. I truly hope that everything is right, because otherwise I might have done some bad things. But they're dead now, so there's that. But yeah, I agree. It might be worth kind of checking into that. But I actually wanted to speak to our Loxodon friend over there, just to see if she might know some people.
Well, it does seem like she's connected with the Wild Mother, so you two might have a lot in common. I do want to make sure that Dan's parents are okay, and I do want to talk to. I think Earthen is overdue. I don't know. Earthen, I don't know. It seems like you have something going on, and I want us to give you time and support with that.
Go check on your cubs, man.
I'm more concerned with Mason being out there. It is great that Rick Centrum is. I don't even recognize this place right now. This isn't what it looked like when I was here last.
It's hard to trust this transformation. I'll keep looking at the map and I'll keep kind of snooping around, but Caleb seems at the very least on the surface reliable. Doesn't mean he knows everything.
We've been deceived before. That doesn't mean that he can't also be deceived.
We have been deceived more than we have not been deceived, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the first matter of business is going to be making sure everyone's families are okay. And I'll contact my old family just to tell them to, I guess, take care and not do anything stupid, which is redundant, because they will.
They'll take care, or they won't do anything stupid?
I think this is above their pay grade. I don't think they've ever done anything this cool. I think they kind of mind their own business. But still, I guess I'll be a dutiful daughter. They did technically raise me. But Spot, I don't know, I think something ain't right. We've stepped in something weird.
I mean, kind of par for the course for us. God, this feels weird. Like, I'm a cat and I have the least family drama. That's like, okay. After we're done here, I'm gonna head home. And...
if you're a member of a Tabaxi clan, usually if you survive your wanderlust, you come back to settle in your retirement. So half of the Tabaxi that wander end up not coming back because that just happens when you're under the wanderlust, which is currently what Spot's in the midst of, is finding their place in the world.
Makes me sadly think about the buddies on the ship.
Yeah. Oh, very much. But once we're done here, I'm going back because I don't think I can top the whole murdering dinosaurs, stealing literal tons of precious metals. Like I'm going to be eating out on that for decades. But anyway, all right. Things and stuff.
Okay, so we're going to check on both of your families' first matter of business, and we're going to keep snooping around a little bit longer. And I guess at some point we should try and find Mason again before he does whatever it is he wants to do.
Earthen, how many charges did that wand originally have?
3.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm very mindful of the clock. I'm like, do we want to start this right now?
I mean, that would be the end, right?
So as you guys settle into your plans, we'll say that each of you that can reach out to families. Those that choose to, you have conversations, you check in on your families. Zenith, you're dissuaded that you now know that whatever entity that was that possessed Withia was definitely lying. It's not uncommon for possessions to go strangely. You get the feeling after conversing with your family who has no knowledge of anything other than the fact that Mannheim was a teacher at some point in the college that your mom is familiar with. Other than that, all the information that you share with her doesn't make any sense to her. There's no connection there. Earthen, your family's still safe in the Vale. Everything that Caleb has said is valid and true. Puck, your family thought you've been dead 20 times over. So when they hear from you, they're both surprised and relieved at the same time.
Puck, for all of her bravado, the moment she sees him, she's like starts crying and being like, "Oh, I miss you guys. You're such a good parents. I'm sorry."
On this, like I did post it in the chat, but not a family. But I thought, especially with our box on print here, I might want to check in and see if they might be part of the same clan as my mentor, and or know anything about her. Like that, she's kind of, again, like the Wanderlust thing. That is how I was reading it too. But it's like, might check in with her, see what she knows, see if she knows anything.
Okay.
Kind of be like, hey, I don't completely suck as a muck anymore.
But as
Take it
the
up to
afternoon gives way to early evening, Caleb is able to add 2 additional charges to the wand. So it now has 5 charges before. Unfortunately, he tells you he was able to overcharge it and get it to adhere to 2 new charges. But unfortunately, once it's used up, the wand will have no more value. It will not be functional anymore. He felt that your upcoming travels were more important than the stability of the wand. So he adhered 2 new charges to it, but once the 5 are gone, the wand becomes non-magical at that point. You guys settle into an evening meal with Caleb, discussing your plans, discussing what to do about this idea of this keystone and what it represents. The idea that it might possess the gateway into a hidden vault and into a possible item of power. Is this what Mason is looking for? Has his journey and discovery of this fragment of Strahd's castle led him down this path because all of his previous attempts have been thwarted time and time again? And what does this talisman do, and what does it mean? Is it linked to the past of Exandria directly? Is it from the period of the Ziggurats, or maybe is it even older than that? Because the one thing that Caleb spends the evening talking to you about is this entity Dominion and what it might mean. And when we come back next week, we will finally know more about Dominion, and the team will begin their travels to see if they can't figure out what this talisman is and what does it mean to get a hold of it, and to also find out if Mason now is beginning to secretly plot, as there's been a very distinct message, rather bloody, left behind in a very important place that he was working on. And that's where we're going to leave off for tonight. And when we come back next week, we'll see everybody next Sunday. You guys linger. We got schedules to talk about. Everybody else, be safe, be kind, play a game. Good night, everybody. I'm getting better at this, I swear. I had it perfectly timed till I realized I didn't.